Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everyone. Welcome back with me, Dr. Heri Kuswoyo, on Systemic Functional Linguistics course. Today, I would like to talk about the introduction to Systemic Functional Linguistics in details. Well, in this video, I have two objectives. The first is to define Systemic Functional Linguistics, and then the second is to discuss the key concept in SFL that we call as three broad function of language that sometimes we call as meta function. Let's discuss one by one. Well, what is systemic functional linguistics? Systemic functional linguistics is a linguistic theory developed by Michael Halliday that view language as social semantic system, in other words, as a resource for making meaning within social context. Halliday combined the idea of Ferdinand de Saussure and Charles Sanders Peirce to articulate a theory that linked the structure aspect of language with their possible meaning based on their context. Furthermore, systemic functional linguistics highlight that language is a network of interrelated options, or we call as a system from which speaker select to create meaning. This systemic aspect foregrounds the paradigmatic axis, or we call as the choice among alternative, over the syntagmatic axis or linear structure. Systemic functional linguistics treats grammar as meaning-making resource, insisting on the interrelation of form and meaning across different linguistic strata, such as semantics, the level of meaning, lexicogrammar, the level of syntax and morphology, and also the level of phonology, or it deals with sound. In addition, systemic functional linguistics situates language use within social and cultural contexts, analyzing how language functions to achieve social purposes. It connects linguistic choices to the field, such as subject matter, tenor as the participant, and the relationship, and also the mode that call as channel and organization of communication. And last, systemic functional linguistics uses system network to map out the choices available in language variety, showing how different options relate and how speakers select among them to construct meaning. Ferdinand de Saussure's work emphasizes language as a system of sign organized by relationship between the signifiers and also the signified, focusing on the internal structure of language. Meanwhile, in Peirce's semiotic model, introduce a triadic relationship among the representation or the interpretant and also the object, those incorporating the connection between language and external. Systemic functional linguistics builds on this foundation by viewing language as social semiotic system, resource for making meaning in social context through network of choice rather than a fixed structure. He liberated the concept of system from structure, emphasizing the paradigmatic axis of language, or the set of choices available, over the syntagmatic axis, or linear sequence, which was the focus of traditional grammar. Unlikely traditional grammar and also formal grammar approaches that focus on primarily on sentence structure, in SFL emphasizes language as a system of choices speaker make to fulfill different communicative function depending on the context. Based on Halliday in 1994, Halliday introduced the concept that languages simultaneously serve three kinds of meta function. The first is additional meta function. The second is interpersonal meta function. And the last is textual meta function, where for each has different function. What about additional metafunction? Additional metafunction, it represents the experience and logical relation. And then interpersonal metafunction, it enacts social relationship. How we try to manage our communication among our relationship. Meanwhile, in the last is textual metafunction. It functions to organize language to create coherent text. SFL highlights how this metafunction shape the structure and use of language, reflecting both speaker intention and social context. It treats language as a network of interrelated options, or sometimes we call as system, from which speakers select to construct meaning, emphasizing the functional purposes language serves in communication. This metafunction represents different kind of meaning that language construct in every act of communication. Let's discuss one by one. What is additional metafunction? Well, additional metafunction, it has purpose to represent the world and our experience of it through language. It deals with content, and also it describes event, entities, and also their relationship. In additional metafunction, enables language user to construct and convey meaning related to action, event, entities, and their relationship, essentially providing a theory of experience. In additional metafunction has a system that we call as transitivity. In additional metafunction is realized mainly through transitivity, which categorized into three. The first is the processes. It includes actions, events, states. The second is participants. It includes actors and object. And the last is circumstances. It includes time and place. Look at the sample. The sentence, the police officer arrested the suspect yesterday. Based on the sample, the clause here, arrested is the process. The police officer, meanwhile, is the participant. It functions as the actor. Meanwhile, the suspect is the participant, function as the goal. And the last is yesterday. It functions to explain, to describe the time as the circumstances. We can look at deeper on the table. What about the second metafunction? The second metafunction enacts social relationship and interaction between speaker and listener. It expresses attitude, judgment, and also social rules. In interpersonal metafunction, it has a function to maintain the relationship between the hearer and the speaker. If in additional metafunction has a system that called as transitivity, meanwhile in interpersonal it has also the system that we call as mood and modality system. In this linguistic system, it's realized through mood and modality, which governs speech role, such as what? The statement, question, command, and degrees of certainty or obligation. Interpersonal meaning consists of two components that we call as mood and also residue. What is mood? Mood is the part of the clause that establishes the speech role and expresses the speaker attitude or intention. It determines whether a clause is statement, question, or command. Meanwhile, the second component is residue. Residue is the remainder of the clause after the mood element. It contains the main message or content of the clause. We can see from the sample, from the clause could you please provide the report by tomorrow? Nah, this is a polite request, or we call as interpersonal exchange, using interrogative mood and modality to soften the command. Based on this clause, could it categorized as finite, meanwhile you as the subject. As I taught you, mood consists of finite and subject. Meanwhile, the residue, this is the remainder of the message itself. That is, please provide the report by tomorrow. By having this, the speaker has the choices of the meaning, whether the speaker want to ask, want to state something, or to ask somebody to do something. That's in the term of interpersonal meaning. And the last, we have textual metafunction. So what is the purpose of textual metafunction? Textual metafunction try to organize language to create coherence and cohesive text to make the message flow logically and connect to the context. How the message are tied each other. As I taught you, in the first type of ideational, it has a system that we call as transitivity. The second, in interpersonal metafunction, also has a system that we call as mood and modality. What about the last? In textual metafunction has also the system that we call as theme and rhyme. In textual metafunction is realized through theme and rhyme. Theme that we call as the starting point of the message or the information structure, which determine what part of the sentence is starting point, that we call as theme. Meanwhile, the rest is rhyme. What is rhyme? This is what is being said about it. So we can see from the sample, yesterday the police officer arrested the subject. Yesterday, from this clause, is the theme as the point of departure. Setting the context, while the rest is dream. This is the new information. So, based on the sample, yesterday, the speaker want to bring is as the starting point, telling about the time. That's we call as the theme. Meanwhile, the speaker want to give more about the information about the police officer arrested the suspect. So that we call as the rhyme. Well, before I conclude, that is the application and the significance by studying or discussing systemic functional linguistics. Systemic functional linguistics provide a comprehensive framework for analyzing text in terms of their social function and meaning, widely used in discourse analysis, education, and language teaching. Furthermore, it offers tools to explore how language reflects and shapes social realities, emphasizing that language is not neutral but purposeful and context-dependent. The theory bridges linguistic description with social theory, making it valuable for interdisciplinary research. All right, before I end, so those are the three kind of metafunction in systemic functional linguistics. So in summary, systemic functional linguistics studies how language function in social settings by analyzing the choices speaker make to create meaning, focusing on language role in communication rather than just its formal structure, as what we have discussed in the previous kinds of grammar, that is in traditional grammar and also in formal grammar. All right, I think that's about the introduction of systemic functional linguistics. In the next video, we will discuss about the ideational metafunction in details. And I think enough. Thank you. See you. Bye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.